was about 6 p.m. and I looked out at the sunset and it looked magnificent. There was a play on the light with the shadows and with the buildings and stuff like that, and it was brilliant. Now, I knew it was going to last for about 30 seconds only, and I needed to get that shot. So, normally I'll be taking photos with this, and it was really good for the wide angle, but this time I needed to get close because there was a bunch of buildings I needed to get past, things like that. So this time I needed this thing. My long 70 to 200 millimeter zoom lens, and the amazing Nikon camera. And so I was leaning out of the balcony and I took this shot, and even inside the camera I knew this was a great photo. And so, done, fantastic. Now, normally I'd put these inside of the MacBook Pro and do that sort of pro editing thing, but part of my challenge was, can I edit this on an iPad? Can it be done? And so I loaded the RAW photo, and there's a difference between RAW and JPEG. You get RAW in these things here. Much bigger files, much heavier, takes a lot more, power to edit them, and that's why it normally goes on the big MacBook Pro. But Apple promised that this iPad Pro had a really powerful machine inside of it, so I gave it a test. So you're going to see now the video of me editing this photo to my completion, and again my thought process along the way, hints and tips, stuff like that, and you'll see that this thing is editing in real time. And also I use a couple of apps. I'm sort of going to throw around some few apps, on the iPad. You don't just have to use one. I kind of like how you can, start off with one app and then load it up in a second to get, some sort of final touches and stuff like that done. And it's really easy to sort of play around. Now, I did all this like outside on a park bench. We just cool in itself. It was relaxing. So anyway, cut to me doing this. I hope you enjoy. Okay, thanks Andrew, the one sitting on the floor. Okay, check this out. So here's where the photo starts. Now, it's pretty cool, but I still think that there's some improvement to be made. Notice there's that roof down at the bottom there. It's kind of distracting. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to crop. Find the bit, chip away the fat and get to the bit that you really want. And so, as I do here, as you can see, I'm cropping and just going to move it in so the sun is in the perfect center. I'm a big symmetry person and I love that stuff. So go ahead, do what you want, rule of thirds, etc. But I love, the whole symmetry part. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing I want to do is get the pen. Just toggle the size there. As you can see, I'm just making it bigger or smaller. And just pressing the button there, lowering the exposure level on the paintbrush. And then using the Apple Pencil, I'm just going to color in. You can see down the bottom right, I'm just making it just darker. Again, remove the distractions from a photo. Whenever you look at a photo, find out the reason why you like it. And then look around to the things that are distracting you from that. And to me, it was that shed there. I don't want to remove it completely because, of course, it's going to remove a lot of the skyline around. But, I wanted to darken it so I could see more of what I want to look at, which is, of course, is the sun and the buildings and the shadow play that's actually coming from the sun there. Now, remember what I said about the shadows. Check this out. I darken the outer edges, but I want to actually make around the sun a little lighter. I really want to do that. So same thing, just I did a paintbrush, exposure as you can see is up, and I'm just painting to make that actually more predominant. I think the sun itself is pretty interesting, but what really interests me is the shadow and how it actually plays with that. And so I'm just making that pop a bit more. As you can see, I'm just playing around with some of the settings there. Sometimes I like to move it to the absolute extreme to see what it would look like, and then just bring it back. And so with this one, that's exactly what I did. Okay, so that looks really good, but the next thing I want to do is get rid of that tree there to the left-hand side, the one that's in the way. I'm going to use an application called Pixelmator, and I've loaded it up in there, and I'm going to go to the brush, and then I'm going to use what's called repair. All right, so the retouch and then repair, it's a little band-aid thing there. And then the cool thing with that is I'm just going to go ahead, again using the Apple Pencil, adjust the brush size
Just make sure that it's the right size I want. And I'm just going to scrub over that. Now you can see that I'm doing that. Now that's sort of setting an area. Now when I let go of the pencil, see what it does is it actually masks it and actually makes it look like the background in a really intelligent way. It's going to take a couple of times to get it just right. That's okay though. So first thing you do is just go nuts, scrub away, and then you're going to see some imperfections in the clouds and stuff like that. Okay, so that was great. So I'm just going to do a couple more little squiggles around just to get rid of some imperfections. And you keep doing that until you're actually really happy. I'm going to zoom in there and just make sure that see that little fog there? Just going to get rid of that. And you just keep painting around until it's there. Now, I love it. That's fantastic. But there's one more thing I want to do, which is to make the colors a lot more rich. Now, to do that is a little trick. I export the photo to my camera roll, and then I'm going to re-import the photo back again, and it's going to go as a different layer. Right, so export to camera roll, then go to that plus button, and then the plus button, and just re-import back the photo over the top, and then you go back to the paintbrush, and you do format, then choose blending, and then choose multiply. This is an old school Photoshop trick, which you can do in this thing, again, on the iPad. Right, and it's crazy right now, it's colourful, but see how I'm bringing the blending back until it looks like the colour that I want. And everything I've done inside was on the iPad. I didn't bring this to a desktop or a notebook. It was all done there. And then go ahead and export that. And that's the photo that you're seeing now.